Hiya, and welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. It's Pub Chat. I'm Dazza, Glenn, Julian, and Steve. We're going to talk a little bit about the Man City game and how we beat them.
How fantastic was that?
Oh,
It's still on a high, right?
Unbelievable.
I got a bit of pep in me step.
I think it was good for... obviously, we did a podcast yesterday at the pub for it, and everyone, including us, were worried about Milner, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't just what we did from reading online and looking at other podcasts, etc. Even with pundits, everyone was worried about Milner. But the fact is, he put in fantastic performance. Mm-hmm. He really did.
He was the one shock on the team sheet, wasn't he? As in, we weren't sure about Canate later on in the week if he was going to make it, and then because there wasn't really much said about it, he was the one shock. But really, I don't really know what else he could have done. There was some talks of maybe Fabinho going back centre back and maybe Gomez going right back and all that. And like we spoke, didn't we, early on in the morning? And I think other than maybe Phillips playing centre back, I think you'd prefer to have Gomez playing centre half and Milner right back than Phillips in centre half. But yeah, no, it was unbelievable. Like, to think, if like Foden usually as well. Foden usually plays from the right for City as well. So we were saying, weren't we, like they might switch him over to the left, and they did. And yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. He was just quality.
He
the whole
rolled
right
back
side.
years, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was
36 to maybe like 34.
Yeah, I didn't expect it like everyone else. I actually thought Grealish was going to start on that side, so I was a little surprised he didn't. And I was surprised they didn't bring Grealish on to make an impact as well. That was surprising to me.
It's weird there, right?
He's played well recently.
Yeah. So I was thinking, if Grealish played against him, I didn't really think it was having someone who's got loads of pace like Foden does against that's more of a worry for me, because it was more the pace. I thought with Grealish, like Grealish is quite clever, but he wants the ball to feet, and we have loads of touches. I thought Milner might be alright with that, but because it was Foden playing on his side, I was thinking, no, it's going to be a problem because he's so fast and he's got such a great centre, low centre of gravity or whatever. And I was thinking that would be a problem, but he was absolutely class.
What I saw that, we sent a message on Foden earlier with Robbo, just saying, and then Milner, anytime Foden had the ball, he twatted him, man. He wasn't going to go by him. So I think that really got into Foden's head as a young player. Like, okay, I don't want to get hurt, but he wasn't taking people on like he would normally do. And, the lanes weren't there. Elliott did such a great job of covering for Milner. He's always on Milner's shoulder. Anytime Foden had the ball deep, he always had to cut it back. So, total performance for Milner, professional, all the experience.
I'm glad you brought that up about Robbo, because that reminded me, it was early in the game, what Robbo did on Messi, right? Early on, and kind of really wound him up a little bit. And
he did it on Bernardo. He did one on Bernardo. About 2-3 minutes in, and I don't know. You just tiny little things like that. You just think, fucking hell, we're good. We're at it today. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Start early, get into them, especially in that little prick. Really fucking get him rattled.
He's a rat.
But I thought, do you know what, our performance yesterday? It felt like old school, like Benitez, or like it felt like every time we played City in the last couple of years, it's always been like we've been sort of toe to toe. But this is the sort of first time where one of us have really been on like a really poor sort of run and dipping form, and like everyone was saying that City were going to go and beat us and Portland was going to do this and blah blah blah, and it wasn't like a Liverpool performance where you go in and you, like, we played them in the past and we smashed them 3-0 and 4-1 and whatever the scores have been. It was a bit like an old school gritty type performance. We were quite solid. We looked to try and counter-attack them, and we did really well. So it was like, I don't know, there was something even. I enjoyed that sort of performance about us a little bit, even more than going and battering them 4-0 or 3-0. Do you know what I mean?
And that's still the two best teams in the country. Yeah. Well, we still have it, right? Far, it's still there. Yeah, we've had a wobbly start, but you watched that game, and especially the second half. Yeah. It would be hard to find or see a better second half than that for the rest of the season. I mean, it was so back and forth. The passion was there. The quality of football by both teams as well was exceptional.
It's got to be said as well. City were brilliant yesterday. They really were. the way they moved the ball around, and they could have, they had a couple of really good opportunities that they did carve out, but defensively we were just brilliant all over the pitch.
One of the things that I really took away from that game is just that's probably the quietest I've ever seen De Bruyne be against us.
Yeah,
he hardly got the ball. They weren't looking to that side to attack. They're always going down to the left, and you could see in the game a couple of times he was pissed off he didn't get the ball out wide. And then when he did have the ball, we weren't really giving him time to dictate the game like he normally does. He kind of plays more central, and he's dictating passes, getting those lanes. But, out there, those angles aren't the same as when you're playing inside. And I thought that was the quietest I've ever seen.
Well, that's because Fabinho and Thiago did their jobs.
Yep.
I mean, they stepped up a notch in this game.
Do you know what, for me, I really struggled to. I know Carragher and Neville had this thing about it. I couldn't understand what they were playing half the time. It was weird. It had it was like a big box in midfield.
Yeah.
And then Cancelo was like a right back, but then he was like so far wide, and then sometimes it looked like they had like a back three. It was so hard to figure them out, honestly. And then De Bruyne was like, at times he was like right up next to Haaland as well, but he was sort of from like a little bit from like a right sort of like. I mean, I know, man. The positions that they'd all get in and the way they interchange and stuff.
Well, Bernardo was
unbelievable.
Looked like he was playing right back.
There was times where he was filling in. Filling in. He done well where he was sort of filling in a little bit of everywhere. To be fair, but yeah, no, they're unbelievable. They'll probably go on and win the league by 5, 6, 8 points or whatever. They're an unbelievable side. They really are. But this is about the Reds today. This is absolutely such a massive win. There's the way we did it. And we've not even spoken about the main man getting the goal. It was unbelievable, wasn't it?
What a goal that was.
Unbelievable.
Well, what
a goal that was. It's like
the first, where we should have had the corner.
Oh, yeah.
As we were saying in the pub, absolutely world-class save by Ederson. Don't know how the referee didn't catch that. Don't know how the linesman didn't catch it. But you could tell Salah wasn't going to do the same thing again. That's why you were saying he chipped it basically.
Yeah, he learned his lesson off the first one. He kept it low, and great save. But then the next time he lifted it up a little bit, went right over his hand.
I did not doubt him on that second one. You just felt like he was definitely going to score.
Especially on the turn.
Yeah. Oh, it was unbelievable.
Alisson's ball. Oh,
unbelievable.
What was the goal? Was it against Man United? It was a similar goal.
Yeah,
similar. Slipped, wasn't it?
Alisson slipped when he kicked it.
And I felt the same though, running through with that chance. I didn't think he was going to miss that after the first one.
Yesterday's was better because the way that he rolled him.
It's still schoolboy defending. If you got you can't go in there and commit at that point.
It's poor from their point of view.
But it's upper body strength as well.
From Salah. But you'd also say from their point of view, why are they leaving Salah 1v1 at the
Correct.
back?
Yeah. I mean, we tell our kids not to do that. In the back, never leave your center back 1v1. Always have a cover, and for them not to have a cover on that, which is poor tactics on their part for sure.
It is mad, but. Should we speak about the referee because he was an absolute twat, wasn't he? Honestly, how was he going the World Cup?
He was shocking. There were so many things wrong in that game. We'll talk about the goal that was disallowed for City. I mean, there was a foul in the build-up.
They can cry all they want about
the Haaland shirt pull, and then I even think Alisson had both hands on the ball, regardless of how tight he had it.
But wasn't that like the Charity Shield one as well? Exactly the same.
It was the
where
same.
Where Alisson had the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
And it got kicked out by Foden. Yeah.
But it was the ref the entire game, and Salah, some of the challenges, I think, first half where he got mauled to the ground and
it was bollocks.
the ref played on. Really?
Yeah.
How's that not a free kick? It's you couldn't see a more blatant foul than that. And I get to a point the ref was trying to, he obviously went in with a mentality, okay, I'm going to let this, there's going to be some tackles, I'm going to let this game flow. But there's a certain point where you can't let it flow when the tackles are like that.
I mean, the one where Klopp gets sent off, he's got him in a headlock. Yeah. He's got him in a headlock. Yeah. He's got his top off him. It's honestly...
And Salah still carrying Bernardo again.
The line-out is 2 yards away.
The AR was right there. He didn't raise his flag either.
It's on him really. But the whole officiating was absolutely shite. Even if I'm going to be thing on from City's point of view, even when they sent Klopp off, City were not on the attack, but City were in our final third. Yeah. And instead of him going to send Klopp off when the next time the ball's like, he blows his whistle and he's like, all right, so he sends Klopp off. And so if you're City, you're thinking, and they were fuming, they're like, why the fuck are you sending him off now? Right. Like, send him off when the ball. It was.
Yeah, that was weird because they were on attack there. I'd be pissed off if I was Pep.
The whole thing
they're wide open and
was poor.
They're going to get a shot off of that chance, and he just stops the middle of the play. Like,
yeah, it was strange.
It wasn't violent conduct.
I mean, how is he even? I don't even know how he's even able to referee a game with Man City. It doesn't make sense.
Is it just him and Oliver that are going to the World Cup?
Yeah, going to the World Cup. Yeah. But how is he even able to? Because he's from Greater Manchester. I don't know whereabouts he is, but he's from Greater Manchester. How is he able to referee a game like that? The biggest game in the country, probably the biggest game in Europe. Let's be fair, like the biggest game in Europe, and that officiating is absolutely atrocious. And how he's able to do that, being from Greater Manchester, is mental. It's like Mike Dean refereeing it if he was still knocking about. It just wouldn't happen, would it? It's insane. Anyway, forget about that prick. Nunes, what do you think about Nunes when Nunes came on? Because you weren't a big fan, were you?
He was.
No, I wasn't a big fan of his decision makings. I was a big fan of his movement. I thought he did. When you bring a sub on and you're protecting a lead, you need a forward to work the spaces, right? Carry the ball. Yeah. And he did that. He did fantastic. His movement off the ball was fantastic. He did exactly what a substitute
great energy, didn't he? Great energy. Mm-hmm. Very infectious.
The negative of that, which is something we all hope he can work on, is his decision making again. He snatched at chances. There was a couple of times when he got into the box and was screaming. Like, we had players open in the box. We're like, play that fucking ball. And he didn't. So he winds me up a little bit. There's quality there, and we need patience with him. I totally get that. But from what he needed to do in the second half, from coming late on, he did a really good job, right? Just wish, and I just hope that he can figure out his mentality and have a little bit more patience.
When he's running with the ball, just take a little look up. I mean, Salah was right there.
I know.
Like, we're all screaming.
But to his defense, Salah missed Jota on a couple too. He could have slid Jota in a couple. So it happens, right? But what he did, I don't mean to interrupt, is that he kept City honest. They couldn't just push everybody up because he was getting behind them relatively easy. Every time that ball got to the wing, he was going by him. He took 3 guys out of the one play, just by pure pace. Yeah. So I get it.
It'll come for him, especially now. The only negative from yesterday was obviously Jota going off, and it doesn't look good for him. That's a big negative. Obviously Nunes is going to get more minutes now. He's young,
He's not fucking 19 though. But
I know.
You say he's young as he was 17. He was brilliant when he came on. Yeah. He was brilliant. Like I there was moments like what you were saying. I'm thinking, okay, you've made the wrong decision there, but he took 3 players out of the game, so he's made the opportunity. So if he gets those little decisions right, it'll be much better. But before we go, just want to go back a little bit on the actual team. What I loved about our bench yesterday was because our team, when we were set up, our subs, the players that we had 4 subs were brilliant. Because I was thinking, if we need a goal, well, we've got a couple of maybe attacking subs that we've got, and then we've also got like Henderson as from a defensive point of view. So the subs coming on were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant for Liverpool.
You got the spot on
absolutely.
Yeah, I want to mention, because that's something that we've never seen from Klopp before, bringing in Tsimikas and Trent as midfielders, in front of the fullbacks to help protect, and he has never done that before. So everybody thought, Trent's going to take Milner's spot, and Tsimikas to take Robbo, but no, they came in and sat in.
Yeah, but they were really late, them 2 ones, weren't they? Yeah, I know what you're saying. What you're saying is right. I was thinking more like the Henderson one was good. We needed a little bit more. I felt like that sort of part of the game we got a little bit sloppy. And Henderson coming in, and Nunes coming in for Firmino, and Carvalho for.
Carvalho was good too.
Yeah, and they were really good subs at that time. Mm-hmm. They really helped us out. So yeah, kudos to the manager for that as well, because that was a big moment in the game.
And that result, right? I mean, fantastic. But with West Ham coming up next,
you got to do it again.
The last thing you want to do is get a poor result against West Ham after playing such a fantastic game against Man City. Team.
But just before we go to West Ham, should we do a little thing of man of the matches? Because we didn't even, or maybe we can do it first. We didn't even mention Joe Gomez. Performance. Joe Gomez and Van Dijk actually, because I thought Van Dijk was brilliant yesterday.
Probably his best Van Dijk
and he hasn't.
Right?
But he just felt so much more switched on. He was alert. Mm-hmm. So I thought both of them yesterday were absolutely brilliant. Mm-hmm. Especially for Joe as well, because obviously Holland was on him, obviously playing on him a lot more. But I thought they were both absolutely brilliant.
I mean, the way Holland was showing to the ball, and Joe was right on him every time. You know, and he was immense. I thought he kept it simple in the passing game. He didn't dawdle on the ball as much as he did the last time he played.
Dawdle.
Dawdled
on the ball.
Yeah.
Like that one down.
Yeah.
Dawdled.
Yeah. But he kept it simple, right? He moved the ball. He didn't step on it and allow the pressure to come to him. Yeah. Except for one time he tried at the end of the game, tried to do that Cruyff move at the on the byline. But other than that, he played immense. And
who's your man of the match?
Gomez was my man of the match. I mean, that's who I put out there.
You haven't?
I'm gonna have. I thought about this last night. I'm gonna have Milner because everyone was, like we said earlier, was shocked and not confident in Milner, and I thought he was fantastic.
Not gonna lie.
Milner has got my man of the match.
Yeah, I was torn between Gomez and Van Dijk, to be honest, but I'll probably go Gomez as well. Yeah, with Wilson, but I think the whole back four, even Robertson's been out for a while as well. Robertson done really well too, didn't he? But
he definitely did.
I think the whole back four, considering who you're playing against, and what he's scoring and 15 goals every game, and it was absolutely brilliant. Anyway, moving on to West Ham.
Milner for me.
Oh, sorry, you did say Milner, didn't you? No, I've heard you say Milner. Yeah. Sorry, Milner for Darren. West Ham. Fucking pain in the ass, aren't they? They are a pain in the ass. Just let us have a couple of days to enjoy it, but you're just big fucking
just give us a week off.
I know.
Yeah,
it's one of them teams as well. They're like, if it was like a Fulham or I'd say Bournemouth would be them nine. Someone nice. West Ham, I just feel like.
But they've had a bad start as well, haven't they?
No, not recently.
They've had a bad start.
I mean, in the first 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, they picked up though.
Played really well, and now they're going on.
They've taken out 7 out of the 9 points in October, right?
Someone's done his research this morning. Thankfully,
they've only.
Why do you think he's grown in size?
There you go.
They've only
it is
scored 9 goals all season, right? Yeah, but their form in October has picked up. So
that it's shit.
The thing is with them is that they're all big units and like physical and stuff like that. So it's just more about like with us, it's more about getting. Like we've got another injury there with Jota the other day. So now you're trying to think about. Obviously, you've got to think about now centre halves. We've not really got many fit. So and like what you sort of do, you might need a couple more different players to come in just to give us a little bit more energy.
This game worries me more than I was confident, as you know, before the Man City game. I thought that we wouldn't get a result. The game after that, which is West Ham, this is the one that I'm not as confident, right? About there are some big decisions to make. I mean that game against Man City is going to take a lot out of the players, right?
Yeah, it will.
I would expect quite a few changes. I'd expect Núñez is probably going to start, probably for Firmino. Mm-hmm. That would be one. Carvalho's probably going to start.
Well, let's go back the other way then. Go back to your back four. Like, what would Trent? Do you think Trent will come in?
Depends on. I think a lot of that depends on Konate and if he's fit and if he's ready to start.
I can't see how you can not make the bench on Sunday against Man City.
Or do I? But
if there was any chance of at all, any chance, you give an injection, and he plays against City. So he can't be. I don't even think he'll be on the bench at City.
I think you're probably right on that. I think it's probably going to be the same back four with Trent in for Milner. I mean, that would make sense.
I agree. I just worry about this centre half thing because now we've got game. Ajax is big next week. as well.
This could be a game for Nat Phillips could come in and play this game.
That
Phillips.
I mean, on West Ham, you're really concerned about Declan Rice running the show, so you need to have your midfielders keen on him. But this game would be perfect for Nat Phillips to just play.
The only reason I would do Phillips. The only reason I would say maybe Phillips is because he's quite big and physical, and then you've got Antonio and the other fella. Just imagine whether they're quite big and physical type players. So maybe you could maybe put in Trent and Phillips at the same time.
He's not going to do that.
I don't know. But the thing is, mate. So I know what you're saying, but then where does maybe you're right, and maybe Phillips plays against Nottingham Forest on the weekend. Maybe that's where he goes and he does the change, because you can't go with having Gomez. You can't have Gomez and Van Dijk playing now every 3 days. Especially Gomez's injury record in general is not good.
Right.
So and then don't know what's going on with Canate. So maybe Gomez starts Wednesday and then Phillips plays against Forest. Maybe that probably makes more sense.
More likely.
And do you think Hendo comes in for Fabinho's position?
Yeah, I mean, them two won't start. It'll be one of them will get the break. It'll be probably. Do you know what though? Thinking about it, at Rangers, Thiago came on, didn't he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So maybe Fabinho will get this one off.
Stick Henderson in 6.
Henderson and.
Well, I mean, I kind of like the fact that every other game you're alternating their starts and coming in at that.
They have to.
Because Hendo brought in energy at the end of the game, just like. So I think that with both of them, like Fabinho really trying to regain his form, and Hendo, coming off injuries, I think that'd be a good way to manage those two. And then you have Thiago, right? Yeah,
the big question really is now with Jota doesn't look good. I mean, it sounds really doesn't look good at all, is it? So who's going to be the left? Who do you think will be the left midfielder? I think it'll be Carvalho.
Carvalho's the obvious one because that's where he plays, right? I'm not so sure he's ready to consistently start. He's going to probably have to get used to that.
One thing that
both of those
we're kind of overlooking from this weekend or yesterday's game, who was on the bench yesterday?
Curtis
Jones was on the bench yesterday.
I don't think he'll play, but I think that left midfield spot could be good.
Well, that's where he plays when he plays. On the left. There.
Yeah, but he doesn't. But this is like a 4-4-2 or whatever. However you want to say it, 4-2-4 or whatever. But that him there in that sort of spot might be better for him because he's not a centre mid. He doesn't have to be as disciplined as centre mid. But if he's playing at like the left, that might be good for Curtis. I don't think he'll start on Wednesday, but I do agree with you. I think that could be an area we could use Curtis. Harvey on the right.
Yeah, I think he's deserved to play.
Depends on if he's going to keep that same formation again, right? So
I can't see why he wouldn't.
I don't see why he wouldn't either. I mean, it's working. Why change it?
I know. And then, are we saying Nunes and Salah up front?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's going to be it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you're looking at like. We're just looking so skinny now on options, aren't we? Because you Jota and Diaz.
Yeah.
And if you bring Trent back in, then you have Milner opening up for a midfield position too to give maybe Thiago a break if he needed a break. So you
got Fabinho as well.
Yeah.
Coming on.
But it is if you're playing that 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2. It is. I mean, the left hand side of midfield is the obvious.
It is now
issue. Jones is an option. I don't think, like you said, he'll start on Wednesday. Carvalho's an option there. I struggle to think of who else could go on that side. I mean, be interesting if you gave the Greek a run in left midfield in the cup or something, test him out. But I can't see that. But it is a problem position now.
It might be, yeah.
One thing after another.
It's difficult. It's difficult, isn't it? I want to see Mo Salah in the middle of the pitch more.
Yeah, so do I.
Like we've seen him 2 games now when he's playing in this position. He's been brilliant, hasn't he? Don't want to. He's not. He would never ever be a right midfielder. He's not a right. He's not going to play on the right of this against like decent teams.
Right.
He's just not. And also we don't want him. We don't want him in there as like a midfielder. You want him in front of goal, don't you? So yeah, no, that'll be interesting. I think Oxlade-Chamberlain coming back is probably a good timing as well because he might be the
forgotten players.
He might be the person that can play on that right hand side that maybe gives Harvey a little bit of a break as well. That might sort of help us out a little bit.
But if you look at the positions Nunez took up yesterday when he came in on that left, right? So he obviously could slide over to the left because that's where
but he
played before last year.
He was on the left, but he was sort of picking up he wasn't playing on the left of the. He was a lot of the ball he was getting was down on the left side.
He was getting over to that side. He has played there before.
I mean that's
where left of a three.
Yeah, that's
different. Left of a three.
And we're not going to do that. It doesn't look that way.
I don't think.
I don't think why would we change it? To go back to what we were saying when we've been playing so well. Only in 2 games, of course, but we looked a lot better
with a 4-4-2.
Well, one thing I'd say is if we're going to play, if we go back and play 4-3-3, one thing we're running out of now is actual forward players because we've only got 3 of them. The other two look like. Jota's we don't know yet because this is obviously the morning after the game, but it could be a while, and then Nunez is going to be after Christmas.
Well, Klopp's, they kind of played a 4-2-4 a couple of those games, right? Where Firmino behind the center forward. So
that's the quality of these players now. The formation, not just for us but for other teams, it's extremely flexible. You have kind of like your base formation, but then it can change depending on where the ball is and what the other team is doing as well. And we saw a little bit of that yesterday as well. We saw it straight 4-4-2 at times. But then we saw it more defensive, and we saw like the 2 sitting in front of the centre backs. More so in the first half, we saw.
Yeah, and then you've got Bobby dropping in.
Yeah.
So it is like at times it can be like we're 4-4-1 or whatever you want to say. It really, It is very flexible. I feel like Jota and Harvey gave us a good balance on the outside. I thought they gave us.
Fantastic.
I thought he was good. He was great out of possession. I thought he frustrated me at times when he had the ball. Sometimes
he made some key interceptions in our own box a couple times. He works, what are you doing down there?
He works hard.
He worked hard.
He works. He does a lot of stuff.
That's a shame about the injury because he was just coming back into fitness, right?
So what do you think score-wise? So we're recording this. It's Monday. So fingers crossed that we don't hear of any injuries, etc. for the next couple of days. But right now. What do we think, Wilson? Score
2-0 to the Reds.
I was going to say 2-0 too, actually. I say 2-0 every freaking game. The only time I never said 2-0, the only time I said it, who did we beat 2-0 the week? It was Rangers, wasn't it?
Rangers, yeah.
Yeah. So, I will, do you know what? I'll be even boring it then. I don't even have to word. I'll go Liverpool 1-0 again. I know, yeah. I'll take it though. Do you know what I mean? I'll take a little smelly 1-0.
3 points.
Just get through it. Yeah.
Daz doesn't give predictions, but how can you see the game going? Do you think we'll win? Do you think we'll draw? Do you think we'll lose?
I think we'll win. Yeah. I just think confidence levels, especially after beating City, are sky high.
I tell you, just 1 second, just before you do your prediction,
before you think.
No, just before your thing.
No, I've just thought. Do you know what's dead important? Do you know
wait a while.
Oh, I know you will.
What's really, really important? One thing we didn't speak about was the crowd. The crowd yesterday was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
There's loads of different factors to that massive game. Liverpool back against the wall. Blah blah blah. The crowd tomorrow night, Wednesday night. Need to be
do the same.
No, it's not. I don't think you can say it's the same because it's a totally different game. But for that first 20-30 minutes, they've got to get behind them because if that ground's flat, like we've seen it loads of times before when you've had a massive game and then you're playing someone else and then it's tough. The crowd has got to be good for that first 20-30 minutes. Going to the West Ham. Sorry, mate. I thought about that.
Now you can think.
Sorry, mate.
And I do think like Klopp's comments before the game added a little bit as well, spice to the atmosphere as well. He knew what he was doing. Right? He knew what he was doing. He's very intelligent, right?
He was asked a question, and he was giving them the answer. And it's all like Man City getting all bent out of shape by it. It's reality. That's what it is.
What's your prediction?
I've been saying this for a while, so I think this is going to be difficult. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be close. I don't think we're going to be able to dominate this. I am going to say it will be Liverpool 3, West Ham 2.
I can't have that. No, I'm not.
Well, you're going to have to.
These white hairs are from City. From the last 5 years of dealing with City yesterday.
I do like there's a lot that comes into that. I think that the Gomez 2 potentially in a week after... we know about his injury problem. I think maybe if Trent comes back, that opens it up a little bit more. I think we put a lot of effort in against Manchester City. So I do think this is going to be difficult. I don't think it's going to be easy, and I don't think we're going to dominate the entire game. I think we'll win. I just think it's going to be very close.
Just win, Liverpool. That's all we can say.
Just win.
Just win.
So, yeah.
3 points.
3 points, please.
Move on.
Thank you very much.
To Forest.
Yeah.
But, thanks everyone for listening. As you always say, please like, because we like likes, right? So nice to
the first subscribers. So make sure you subscribe, motherfuckers.
Yeah, in the famous William Shakespeare's words, subscribe, motherfuckers.
Add your comments as well. Tell us what you think the score is going to be against West Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
All right, nice one.
Thank you. Cheers.